Annette.
Yeah.
Annette, how old are you?
I'm 46.
Are you originally from Arizona?
No, I was hatched somewhere else.
Where are you from originally?
New York.
New York. Mm-hmm. And what brings you all the way out here to AZ?
My mom brought me out here when I was 6 months old because her sister was out here. And to bring family closer back together.
And what's your current situation right now? Are you homeless?
My current situation is complicated. I'm not really homeless, but I have a friend that I'm staying with, but it's questionable because, at any given time he can kick me out.
How long have you been staying with your friend?
Me and him have been on and off for 6 years now. And so...
Is he like a boyfriend or just a regular friend?
I'd be stupid to call him a boyfriend, but closest to a boyfriend is, possible. He's right now staying with another girlfriend. But he's abusive and all that good shit, so that's why it's always up in the air when I'm going to be back on the streets.
So it's not stable?
No. Not at all. I do have income. I'm on Social Security. I've been on Social Security since I was like 17 years old.
How did you end up on Social Security at 17?
Because I'm crazy as hell.
What was that?
I'm crazy as hell. I've had extensive years of abuse, sexual, physical, and so with that accumulated into my, I've been in the system since I was 10 years old.
So you have some mental disabilities?
Mental, yeah. I have mental, I have physical, and
what have you been diagnosed with?
I'm diagnosed with bipolar, schizoaffective, which basically means that I have a dual diagnosis, so drug or alcohol, along with the psychosis.
Do you take medication for all that?
I do. I'm on 6 medications, mainly for my depression and for the bipolar and post-traumatic stress syndrome and stuff like that, the mania.
What's going on with your legs?
I have lymphedema. That's the physical attribution that I have. I have lympha and lympho, and lympha is basically situational. So I weighed over 525 pounds at one point in time, and then that caused a lot of cut-offs areas where circulation, there was no circulation at all. And then your lymphatic system doesn't have a pumping system, so there's no way for it to naturally, cause circulation. The only way it causes circulation is through walking and, exercising, massage and stuff like that. And being 525 pounds, there wasn't much walking going on. And so all my lymphatic fluid went to my legs. But I also have hereditary lymphatic problems because my aunt, she also has the same disease in her legs, and her legs is triple the size of mine, and she's been rendered incapable of walking because of it.
Do you come from a family that's more on the heavy set side?
No, I have a nice mixture in my family. On my mom's side, we're Italian and we're eaters, so yeah, we have some heavy set people. But on my dad's side, not really. They were all around, different, except my aunt that is, me and her have the exact leg problem. So our upper body's smaller, and then our lower bodies are bigger.
You said you managed to lose 500 pounds?
Well, I lost,
or you were 500?
I was 525 pounds at one point in time. I got the gastric bypass. I got the major one, the one where they basically cut off your stomach, where it's still involved, it's still in your body, but it's not attached to anything. And they attach my esophageal to my small intestines. And so it's basically a direct connect, and they build a little pouch, and that's basically my stomach. And so I can eat about that much food, and I'm extremely full.
Okay.
And and then I go what they call jumping syndrome. If I go over, like, it's like 33 bites altogether. If I go over that, I've got like fever, I'm throwing up, I'm sick, nauseous.
What are you weighing at now?
I'm in between 119 and 130. Like last time I weighed in, I was like right in between there. Yeah, but it still doesn't really show because I still got a lot of weight on my bottom part. Yeah.
Where were you going right now when I seen you?
I'm searching for a cigarette. I was having a nicotine fit, like the worst.
Do you have a hard time walking? Because I kind of seen you with.
Yeah, I'll always have that, like, limp or that, kind of like a duck walk, kind of, like.
Yeah.
I'll always have that, and it's because the weight on the bottom. Yeah. And so you gotta realize your knees can only handle 4 times its own weight, right?
Yeah.
So if I was weighing 525 pounds, right? 525 pounds times 4, that's what, 1,200, right? Times 4 on your knees. So that's like 1,600 pounds on your knees. So my knees are done. Like, I'm supposed to get. They want to do. One surgeon wants to do replacement knee on both my knees, but because of lymphedema, they can't do the surgery. There's no reason to do the surgery. I won't be able to accept it. I won't be able to exercise them, and it'll just be horrible.
Yeah.
So instead, they tell me when I can, as often as I can, move. And so I keep that in my head that I have to move. Because if I don't, then I'll be rendered incapable and I'll be put in a wheelchair.
You told me that you were homeless before.
Yeah, I've been homeless.
How was it like being homeless? At what age did you become homeless?
I've been out on the streets since I was like 10. My first initiation to the streets was I was 10 years old.
At 10 years old?
At 10 years old.
How does that happen?
My mom's girlfriend said either she goes or I go, and after my mom being silent for like an hour, it seemed a really long time, I looked at her and as an adult, because I've always been, older in the head than I have anywhere else, and I looked at her and I said, Mom, I can't put you through that. I would never make you make a choice between your love and your daughter. That just doesn't seem right to me. It doesn't seem right to me. And I said, I'll be an adult about this. I'll leave. And she was like, well, what are you going to do? And I was very, very adult at the time, And I was like, well, I had a moving plan and, living arrangements at first. I was going to go stay with my grandma, which stayed in Cherry, Arizona. And I stayed there for about 1.5 years. It didn't work out very well. I was with my abuser up there, and it just didn't work out. And I ended up coming back to the valley, and when I came back to the valley, I ran off from school, and that became when I became homeless. I started
staying with
nobody.
At 10 years old.
With nobody. I was
bouncing around from
I was turning tricks. Getting hotel rooms.
At 10 years old.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. It was insane, but I was doing it. I was handling it
to survive.
Right. I've always had that survival mode in me. It's equipped, it's inbuilt, it's embedded in me, and it'll always be there. And I have a strong belief that it comes from my father, because my father was a lonesome dove. He was always out there in the streets, always doing, and you do get some things inherited from your parents.
Yeah.
And even though I never really spent too much time with my sperm donor, never spent much time with him. And time I did spend with him, I learned more about me.
Yeah.
Because you do inherit. You do inherit through the blood. Not necessarily. You don't even have to know the person ever, and you definitely will have parts of them. And especially when it comes to survival. It's not always survival of the fittest. Sometimes it's survival of the strongest when it comes to mind and will. Because any man or woman can make it out here as long as they have the will to do whatever it takes to keep them going for the next day. And a plan. There's got to be a plan. plan to execute. And so what do? You got to make sure you have your first one the night before, right? The same thing with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You got to have a plan for each one of those things. And there's plenty of soup kitchens around here and shit like that that people can keep fed, no problem. They can keep clean clothes if they want to, no problem. The hustle, it's always going to be a hustle, There's always going to be some kind of hustle game out here. It's always going to be some kind of, it's always going to be something to steal, something for somebody to do. Always, and we always know what the oldest profession is, and there will be plenty of room for that, always. Always. There's always a man in need and a woman in need of whatever they can get from them.
Okay.
And so.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing your story. I really do appreciate it. Are you okay if I use this on my YouTube channel and social media?
Yeah, we can do that.
And just in case somebody wants to reach out to you with any sort of help or donations, do you have any contact information that you want to share, like an email?
The email I use most preferably is WER number 3 FAMIILY. So family with 2 I's instead of Y. And at gmail.com.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.